Conejo. That be my street gang and artist name that I go by. Me, I'm from the city of Angels, the West Adams district. I first started recording songs in 1990. If you were around in those days, then you know how murderous it was.
Jose Martin, known as Conejo or Rabbit, is a member of the Dead End Harpies gang. Conejo is described as a West LA gangster. Doesn't ask for respect, he takes it. Conejo is already...
It's been a journey of ups and downs, but it's like that for everyone. Some of us make it, and some of us don't. Now going on the run is something that ain't easy. At times, you gotta cover up and conceal yourself. And others, you just gotta hide in plain sight. My family, they came here in the late 60s from the state of Jalisco in Mexico. In a way, you could say I was the black sheep of my family. Moms loved me though, so nothing ever stopped me. Real talk, she been my moral compass from the get-go.
My mom has about, I think there's 16 brothers and sisters right now. Like alive. There was more at one point. My grandma had a gang of kids, so like we was a close-knit family. So all my family, we would drive to Jalisco every year, to Mexico. And we stay out there for like a month, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it may be, like around the Christmas time.
Not getting caught, well, that can be your worst nightmare, or a blessing in disguise. For me, the time that I spent in there is just a accelerated memory now. You see, I got out and went straight to work on a movie called The Tax Collector. So the environment that I live in now is way different from what it was for me on my fugitive run. Tijuana, Baja California, 664. Ain't no joke. G shit for reals, all day. You are now tuned into Inside the Sinister Mind.
With the hold of a savage, see the mic and I grab it. Big C roca, yeah, the ego is landed. Goofy moon, dedication too. I'm back full-fledged, I'ma do what I do. I was jammed up and set down in Baja. Extradited, soy navaja. Cut you, won't come but you. That's how I'm coming with the game to snuff you. I'm chief down in this concrete jungle. You can get got, it's hard to cookie crumble. The psyche of the villain so sexy, might say kill him in these Cortez Nikes, gotta get mine. Yeah, that's regardless. No fly zone for all you orders. Straight up, I be creeping dolo. Share man, slim, you know the mugshot photo. Música asesina. Inside a sinister mind. Inside a sinister mind. Inside a sinister mind. You are now tuned in to a sinister mind. Inside a sinister mind. Inside a sinister mind. Inside a sinister mind. You are now tuned in to a sinister mind.
It was Monday, November 28, 2016, in la ciudad de Tijuana, Baja California. Inside my mind, shit was kind of fucked up.
Why's that?
Because I was getting ready to turn myself in.
I see.
In case you didn't know, I had been a fugitive at that point about 14 and some change, right around the 15-year mark. And, like I said, it had been fucking with my head because, I was a single father out there, had been raising my daughter, and at that point, I was all she had.
I would like to jump in there.
Nah, don't do it.
I like jump from here.
Now she's 10, so she was about 7 going on 8. And to me, it was fucked up to turn myself in and she was gonna have to stay out there with her moms. You know, I was the one that always looked out for her. Anything she wanted, anything she needed, I was on it.
No, but
You know, I raised her since she was 5 months old. So me and her were real close. So they had been fucking with me. I knew I had to turn myself in, go in, if I wanted to get on with my life, because living like that is like, it's like a mental prison. You're not in an actual prison, but you're in a mental prison. Because every day, every night, like everywhere you look, you ain't never feel comfortable because you always, you know, watching over your back, and, you know, paranoia is just, it's like sitting right next to you, riding shotgun all motherfucking day long. And that's real talk, my G's. So back to Monday, November 28, 2016. Come on. That day I had dropped off my daughter at school. And then her mom said that, you know, she'd pick her up after school and she would stay with her for like two or 3 days, and I get her back on Thursday. I pick her up from school on Thursday. So that Monday morning, I dropped off at school, came back, went to the dojo, then came back to the spot. Shit wasn't right because for 2 months before that, like, I already had been seeing strange things. And, you know, I'd brush it off because I'd say, nah, like, te estás sondeando, estás paniqueado, you paranoid, you doing this shit to yourself. So, you know, I was just, I mean, it's a weird thing being on the run, being on a journey, being in exile, whatever you want to call it. Cause sometimes you forget and you go on about your life, you know. So that night I was there. I stayed in the house after I came back from the dojo. I just was all day in the house. I was just like feeding for some like sugar, some munchies and shit, smoking a little bit of weed, you know. I was just sitting in front of my studio, like sitting in front of that Mac computer and just like listening to shit that I had been working on. And but for some reason I didn't feel like recording, so, you know, I got up, put the hoodie on. Like I said, it was like sprinkling out there. It was kind of like cold and, you know, that type of weather. So I put my Air Maxes on, some sweats, went up to the Oxxo. Oxxo's like a 7-Eleven in Mexico and shit. So, you know, get my shit, come back. And, you know, every time I'd go out, I'd always check my cameras. You know, in one way or another, I'd look out or see, like, you know, because in those days when I was out there, los estatales, the state police, they was on a fucking rampage. They was like robbing motherfuckers. Like, they was just on it. Like, they reminded me of the LAPD crash unit. Like they kind of young and they just out there. Like, they'd roll like in 2 trucks, so it'd be 8 of them, 4 and 4. And on any little suspicious shit, they like pull you over, interrogate the fuck out of you. You know, if you in the area, they'd be like, take me to your house. They'd go through your fucking house, search all your shit, you know, steal shit or whatever the fuck, you know, like plant some shit on you. You know, over there, it's like, it's like twisted. It's like a twisted reality, you know what I'm saying, of the rules that they got over here. Same shit's going on over here, but over there it's out in the open. You know what I'm saying? There's no filter about nothing. So, you know, I'd be low key in my movements. Like, it'd be like strategy to get from point A to point B and make it back home safe. And I lived like that for years.
15 years.
And I stayed catching flights. I was always in the air. You know, I fly to like, you know, Jalisco, fly back to the border, back and forth. You know, my family's from Jalisco. And so I'm back at the house, whatever, chilling, take off the hoodie. This is after I checked out some beats, heard some songs. You know, I lived alone, so my studio was in one room, my bedroom's in another one. My daughter's bedroom was over here. I had another room just to play PlayStation. So you know, when you got your own pad, you do whatever the fuck you want. You walk here, you walk there. Ain't nobody gonna tell you nothing. So I remember I was right there, like over my like la cómoda, like where you got your cajones. And then I had a watch on me, some like Swiss watch or some shit. And I remember like I did something and boom, the band snapped and that shit fell right there. And like, I remember, I don't know if I said it with my actual voice or in my mind. You know, I heard the words in my head, your time is up.
Your time is up.
And the crazy thing before that, like a few weeks before, I remember me and my boy out there we had did this Palo Mayombe ceremony, and then we did a reading, and I remember my muerto, my prenda was telling me like, your time is up. You gotta go turn yourself in. And I kept on trying to buy them by like feeding them goats and roosters on some bloodthirsty shit.
That's right, on some bloodthirsty shit.
It's like a defense mechanism, basically. You use it against anything that's giving you a problem, you know? And that's what I did. And I remember it told me right there, like, nah, don't trip. Your time's up. You gotta go in there and face. It was talking about my case. You gotta go up in there, face it, don't trip, you'll be out. And that happened. And then, like about a week after that, I did this ceremony. It's called Santo Lavado. It comes from an Afro-Cuban religion, you know, so it's an Afro-Cuban ceremony. Me hicieron Santo Lavado, donde recibes a Ubatalá.
Ubatalá.
I was part of a lot of rituals. I felt like they protected me, like, you know, that's where I got in contact with my ancestors.
And I remember the Santero priest, the Oba, Cuban dude, had came down from Mexico City, right there at one of my other boys' house. So he does me a reading, and everything's coming out cool, saying this, saying that, what, you know, like all these things. And then at the end, he just stops and he looks at me and he tells me, alguien que tú pensaste que fue tu amigo, nunca fue tu amigo
y te acaba de traicionar.
Fucking rats.
Someone who you thought was your friend was never your friend, and he already betrayed you. The thing is, when you're told something like that, you start analyzing all the people around you.
I insulated myself from the world.
I don't really have that many people around me, you know what I'm saying?
I was always on my toes. That was the one thing. It's like, that shit was basically like 15 years. And it's like they don't leave you alone. Like, they're looking for you. They want you. It's like you're a fugitive. And, you know, I met a lot of fugitives. I met a lot of fugitives, like, in those times, and I seen how they did it, and, like, you know, and sometimes we would get to chop it up, and,
you know, I stayed on the move. Even though I would sit sometimes and wait it out, I was still on the move. I had a normal life out there. And, you know, I was having fun with the music. I was just putting out albums, like, it's almost like I knew what was gonna happen, and I was just putting out all this dope material. Like, I was having fun with it. I was just...
In other words, I was just doing my thing.
So whatever, motherfucker knocks out, wakes up, makes a little breakfast, works out. I had a gym in my house in the back. I had everything, like all the machines, you know, bench, you know, free weights, everything. You know, I had like some like welders coming, they welded up. I had my own like pull-up bars, so I was always doing pull-ups and dips. So that day, my boy, the Santero, he had hit me up and he had told me, hey, le vamos a caer pa' allá. He says, like, we're gonna go over there and we're gonna have a jam session. I'm like, all right. So my maid, she would come on Wednesdays. My house never got dirty like that, but you know, so I start cleaning up. You know, I grab a black bag of trash and start throwing away, like, you know, like boxes of food or some pizza boxes or whatever the fuck I had. I start cleaning up the pad. So I had this big black trash bag, and I don't know, something told me, hey, look at the cameras before you go out there. So I went and got the little tablet type thing, punched in one of the screens, and these dudes didn't know that I had a camera right above them, so I could see them, everything. I could see them from 2 cameras, like close. And so they were like out on the street. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I'm gonna wait it out. So basically I'm waiting it out, smoke a little weed, was doing pull-ups, just bullshitting. And as a matter of fact, that same day, the Reign Supreme 6 album had came out. It had just hit iTunes because it had been out on distribution we used. So they had put it out first, and then it had hit iTunes that day. So I remember I had my laptop open on the bed, and I was just like, like checking it out and, basically killing time so that car roll out so it could make me feel comfortable to go throw the trash out there. So then, man, these motherfuckers wouldn't leave. I'll check. They're just right there. And then, so I'm like, man, fuck it. This is around like 1 o'clock. So I come out, and as I get to the gate, I buzz it open. Boom, I make that left. And something ain't right with these two motherfuckers in that car. From the corner of my eye, I could tell they were straight looking at me. What should I do? Right there, there's this thing. It's called contenedor. That's where you throw your trash at. Got a little padlock on it. Put your key in, unlock it, put your trash in there, lock it back up, and so forth. But like I seen them, I just threw it right there, and I walked towards back the gate. And when I walked towards the gate, I buzzed it, so it's like closing as I'm coming in. So if anything, it'll close right behind me. And as soon as I did that, like I just seen a truck out of nowhere, just like coming straight at me, like whatever, 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, and it hits the gate, knocks the gate off the rail. And then when I jump out the way, all of a sudden I feel like someone tackles me. Boom. They tackle me, they drop me to the ground. And I just see all these guns come out, and they're like all over my face, my head. No te muevas, hijo de tu puta madre. And man, I remember they cuffed my feet. First thing they did was cuff my feet. I heard them. Cuff his feet. So then they cuffed my hands, and they're like, roughing me up, like, no te muevas, hijo de tu chingada madre, porque te mato a la verga, like, basically letting me know if I did any fucking sudden move, they blow me away right there. So, they snatch me up, throw the shit over my head, throw me in the truck. These motherfuckers gonna take me. What's about to happen? I don't know. See, when something like that happens, your life starts flashing, starts flashing right in front of your eyes. You start seeing everything. Like, I start thinking about my daughter, like all these things, like fast, like some fast shit. And at the same time we're smashing, I could hear like this is an unmarked truck. This ain't no cop truck. I don't know who it is. Honestly, right there when they got me, I thought it was my enemies and I was about to die. That motherfuckers gonna chop me up, melt me, do some shit to me. That's what I thought. Like, it just like sadness hit me. Like, man, like my daughter. Like, I just felt sad, Like me and my daughter Kay, like every time we would drive, like everywhere we would go, we would see black crows, like in pairs, like 2 black crows here, 4 black crows there, shit like that. We would always say like that's us. She'd tell me like, look, Daddy, that's me and you. Like 2 crows, 2 ravens. And at the same time you got your adrenaline running and the sirens are going on in the truck. Over there, fucking criminals and the motherfucking police got sirens on the car. So and over there, like, the cops are the ones that smoke you for the peoples, So you never know over there. So we're smashing down, and I could tell that we're not on the main road. We're going through little streets, so that's why that made me think like que me iban a llevar a una casa de seguridad. That's like a safe house where motherfuckers get tortured and some more shit. So, I could tell we're going through little streets just from all the stop and go. Like, we're smashing, but I could feel the stop and go, left, right. I could feel when we're moving, and they got their like his hand on the back of my neck, like pushing me down. And I remember there was a little hook on the ground, and so they hooked the cuffs to that little hook. So even if I tried jumping out the window, I wasn't going nowhere. And after a while, it took the thing up off my head, And then I seen like a packet on the floor, like a packet of paperwork. And like, you know, they're stepping on it and all this shit, all this movement, the truck's moving around, and then I see my picture right there. You know, and then that's when they just hit me with like,
What's up, Rabbit?
This segment was brought to you by Bonnaroo.org. Make sure you tune in too. Ep.2, Inside a Sinister Mind.
make sure you subscribe to the podcast on all platforms.